A new report's identified at least 150 activists that have been targeted by fossil fuel industry types for harassment. Wow. SLAPP suits. Talk about it.
Yeah, what's happening here is that for many years you have these environmental activists, they show up at the pipelines, they show up, to protest at the offices, the refineries. So what the fossil fuel industry has been doing is saying, okay, you know what? Let's sue the organizers. Let's sue the people who show up at the barricades. Let's make their lives a litigation nightmare. We know we're not actually going to win lawsuits, but what we do is we tie them up, with these SLAPP suits. We make sure that they can't get out there, they can't do this. They're going to lose all their money from their organization by paying for lawyers. And it's just a delay tactic to get these people off their backs. It's truly disturbing because it does cost these people, tens of thousands of dollars to fight these lawsuits coming from this industry that has endless money and can file as many suits as they want.
Well, here's what they admit. They admit that it's harassment.
Yeah.
They admit that it's a way, they even talk about now it's a way to make money. So because you got Greenpeace that's worth, multi-millions of dollars, so they sue them and actually want to get paid money from Greenpeace for Greenpeace trying to stop them from slaughtering whales all over the world or wherever it may be, or the fossil fuel drilling in our parks. But the SLAPP suits, it's not just the SLAPP suits, they also use the power of subpoena, the use of depositions, every process in discovery that they can use to harass that person. They make telephone calls to universities. If a professor's involved, you got to get rid of that professor. They make calls about people in their jobs. You might want to know that this person is doing this, making it sound like there's really something nefarious going on. I mean, these are tactics that you'd expect from ghouls. I mean, CIA ghouls, and that's exactly what they're up to. But it goes on, and I don't think it's going to get any better. I don't think that there's been attempt. You remember Donziger case that we did?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about that just a second.
Yeah, Stephen Donziger, who was the lawyer who took on Chevron down there in Ecuador, absolutely obliterating the environment, screwing people over, poisoning them, paying off the government. Donziger took him to trial, won. Chevron comes back, sues him, allege all of this misconduct, somehow wins, gets Donziger thrown in prison, stripped of his law license. It's insane.
But here again, that's one of these stories that I talk about, the federal judges that are appointed. The judge that did that to Donziger has never known anything except representing corporation. The judge absolutely saw that Chevron had murdered entire families down there with toxins, wiped them out with leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, brain cancer, birth defects, wiped out entire families. And this judge, New York type, appointed, it was a Clinton appointment, had come through the corporate law firm process year after year, made big money representing corporations, never represented a consumer in his life. By the way, one of the worst federal judges we have sitting up there. Clinton appointment, but we talk about this all the time. How does this happen? It's because the Democrats do the same thing the Republicans do. They go to these big silk stocking law firms that represent corporations and they put them in power. The Stephen Donziger case, it's a good example of really our justice system totally upside down. Some of the biggest pharmacies in America are facing lawsuits over the placement of non-FDA approved homeopathic medicines. Okay, why don't you pick this up? There was a whole push maybe 15 years ago. Homeopath is going to replace chemical medicine, right?
Yeah.
Explain homeopath a little bit so people can understand what we're talking about.
Well, we're talking about things obviously that are not approved by the FDA, not necessarily, vitamins and supplements of that nature, but we're talking about the things that are, boost your brain health, those kinds of things. Take this for your asthma. It's all natural. It's going to make you feel better without having to, use these dangerous pharmaceuticals. And of course, that does appeal to people because you, of all people, know how dangerous pharmaceuticals can be. And the public is aware of that too. And plus, they don't want to pay the big prices. The problem is, it is the Wild West out there with this homeopathic medicine. There's virtually no regulations. we do have instances where one of these supplements that was sold by Walmart, CVS, all these places, was killing infants.
Yeah.
Killing infants because it had deadly nightshade in it. So these are a very real problem. And
There's nobody looking over their shoulder.
Right.
Nobody, I mean, you put it out there, this is good for your brain. Well, okay, you take a year's worth and it destroys your kidneys or your liver or causes some type of heart defect. Everybody's asleep on it. So CVS says this is what the public wants. So we're going to put it up next to a medicine that suggests that this homeopathic drug, this homeopathic thing, has the same efficacy and safety as this chemical produced pharmaceutical.
Right.
And as much as you know how much I hate the pharmaceutical
Yeah.
industry, there's very few people that you will meet that have such disdain for the pharmaceutical industry. They at least are under some protection from the standpoint of somebody's kind of looking over their shoulder. The FDA, sometimes.
A little bit,
A
yeah.
little bit. Homeopathic, none at all.
Right, and it is all about the display. That's what these companies are facing the lawsuits over, saying you put it right there, this homeopath headache remedy right next to the ibuprofen. You put all these things next to the digestive health medicine that have no guarantees. And we know, you've seen documents about the placement of these products. We saw it with Juul. We saw it with
Yes.
Talc.
Yes.
The
yes.
placement of these products in these very stores.
It's part of the marketing.
It
It's-
is.
It's what, and so they know they can sell more homeopathic because it's cheaper, and they know that they're not going to be held responsible if somebody does die. They didn't manufacture the product, but the way that they're marketing, they're very aware of what they're doing here.